We like sports and we don't care who knows. Just two normal guys hanging out, having fun, right? Guy number two?
Yeah, guy number one.
Hey guys, welcome to Flem Lem Sports Podcast. That's Lem.
That's Flem.
And we are Flem and Lem Sports. Welcome to episode 1. I'm Ethan Fleming. This is Caleb Lemming. And we're just two guys, really good friends who love sports, want to talk about it. And we have a great show coming for you guys today.
We're talking football, we're talking basketball, we're talking baseball. We got some Hall of Fame, Super Bowl. Got to talk about the call. Got some players to talk about too.
We do. Boogie's back, but James Harden's still in the West. So we'll see. We'll talk about that and see what happens. But we have a great show coming for you. Hope you enjoy.
Let's go.
We like sports and we don't care who knows. Just two normal guys hanging out, having fun, right? Guy number two?
Yeah, guy number one.
All right, Flem. We got to talk about football. It's going to be our first talk for the day. Championship games: Rams, Saints, Patriots, Chiefs. Let me hear your thoughts.
Well, we got to talk about the call.
Yeah.
It is a week old. It's a little bit old news, but it's the biggest missed call in the history of sports. You got to talk about it. And it's costing the Saints the Super Bowl appearance. And, you know, one thing I don't want to happen is that I want the asterisk to be on the Rams' name.
You do or you don't?
I don't.
Okay.
They had one of the best seasons in the NFC. They deserve to be there. They deserve to be in the championship game. And they're in the game the entire time. I know it's a missed call, but there was a lot of things that happened in the game that could have swung it either way. What do you think?
You said something interesting. It cost the Saints the Super Bowl. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, but I'm not going to be one to say the Saints should be there.
Yeah.
Very easily could. You look about if they would have scored in their first two possessions, they got field goals, should have scored touchdowns. If you stop Greg Zuerlein, if your offensive line performs better on that overtime drive, Drew Brees doesn't throw that interception. Yeah. The Rams, they didn't lose the game. The Rams won.
You're right.
Like, the Rams are a super talented team. Now, that being said, it is the worst no call in NFL history.
It is, and I think the worst part about it is there's zero accountability right now from the league.
Yep.
I mean, they acknowledge, they called Sean Payton and say that they missed the call, but we haven't heard anything from the big man, Roger Goodell. And he has to say something. He can't be silent. We saw what Ben Watson had to say about it. The leadership is needed in the NFL, and he needs to say something.
I think this is definitely a black eye for the NFL.
It is, yeah.
This is, since Dez caught it, Tuck rule, even the controversy with the Immaculate Reception. I mean, this goes up there with, we will remember this 10, 20, 30. We'll tell our kids about that, this no call.
Well, the thing about this no call, like, if you compare it to Deflategate, no one says that's why the Patriots won.
Yeah.
You know, but when we look at this game, it could have caused, like, it could have direct causation to the Saints losing this game.
What I want to hear, I want to hear the ref speak. I could care less about what Roger Goodell said. What's he going to say? We're sorry. Like, the outcome's not changing. I want to hear what the ref says. I know Robbie Coleman said, is that his name? Robbie Coleman?
I believe so.
Robbie Coleman. He said that low key the ref told him I tipped it. Okay, I want to hear the ref say that.
Right. What did the ref see? But anyway, now the Rams, they're moving on. They're facing probably the GOAT, Tom Brady, in the Super Bowl.
There's no probably.
There's no
problem. We'll have that discussion.
That's probably true. But what do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
High scoring game. You look at last year's Super Bowl, 41-33.
Yeah.
With freaking Nick Foles, the backup quarterback. The Rams have one of the best offensive NFC, and then you got Tom Brady, who holds X amount of Super Bowl passing records. Yeah. This is going to be a high-scoring game, both sides.
Well, it might be high-scoring, but I think that the defense plays a key role in every game. Yeah. Every game played. And so I think that the defense is ultimately what's going to win the game for one of the teams. Mm-hmm. And I personally think that the Rams are going to win. And I think that the Rams' defensive line is what's going to win them the game. But, I mean, it's Tom Brady. How do you beat him? I mean, Patriots are going to be prepared for that.
Good point. If you look at the last 5 Super Bowls, you can mark a key defensive play in all 5 of them. Last year, strip sack.
Yep.
The year before that, Patriots-Falcons, strip sack and numerous stops on 4th down. Broncos-Panthers, no offense, my friend, strip sack touchdown.
Well, I don't remember that. But
Patriots-Seahawks, interception at the goal line. Seahawks-Broncos. Yep. I'm not even going to get into that because that was such a crap fest.
Yeah.
A key defensive play is going to be key to this game. And I've been saying this the whole season. I know the Rams' defensive numbers. Everyone's like, the Rams don't have a good defense, whatever. They give up a lot of points. The Rams have playmakers. They got Sue. They got Talib, Peters, obviously Aaron Donald. even though they might not statistically have a good defense, people were comparing them to the Chiefs' defense stat-wise. The Rams have guys who will go make a play when a play
game
is
changers.
Yes,
game changers.
That's what it is.
They're game changers. And so we're going to pick our MVPs right now, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. Aaron Donald's going to be my MVP of the game. He's going to make the key play at the end of the game to get the Rams Super Bowl, and it's going to be the narrative that Tom Brady, 2 years in a row, couldn't get it done at the end of the game on offense.
So you picking the Rams?
I'm picking the Rams.
Okay, we'll get the scores in a second. MVP, I am torn. I really am. Part of me wants to go Greg Zuerlein just because, like, man, you give that to a kicker. I was thinking about going Donald because he is that game changer, but I'm gonna use my cop out. I'm gonna go Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. So you're picking Rams. You want Rams?
Yeah, I'm picking the Rams.
Okay, you're picking the Rams.
I think the Rams will win the game. I think overall they're a better team. I'll get to this in a second. I think Jared Goff, it comes down to the quarterback.
Yeah.
And I know we just said defensive stops, but the quarterback is the hardest position to play in sports. Yeah. It's the most important. You get the most controversy.
Yeah.
Jared Goff is going to win or lose this game for the Rams.
Well, the quarterback is what controls, like, they control the game up until the point where the big play needs to be made. And I think Jared Goff is good enough to do that, especially with Todd Gurley and all the weapons that they have on offense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look out though! I'm gonna make a James White. Look out!
Impact player.
Impact player for the Patriots. If they win the game, if you look at White's Super Bowl against the Falcons that year that they had that big comeback, White should have been the MVP. He just should have been the MVP. He performs in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a solid player. But they overlook the running backs, but they always play a key role in their games. Yeah. And key players, I mean, obviously we got to say Todd Gurley, but I'm interested, a person to look out for who's had a great end of the season, C.J. Anderson for the Rams. Mm-hmm. What is he going to do?
Your
is
boy,
he going to keep it up?
Anderson.
Panthers let him go.
C.J. Anderson.
Panthers let him go, and now look, he's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Good for him. We're happy for him, but is he going to have an impact? Is Todd Gurley going to step up? Is he going to bounce back?
That's the question.
What happened?
Todd Gurley looked like garbage. Now, if you saw his Instagram, I think it was ESPN or Sports Center, he was asked what it meant to him and why he didn't play in the third quarter. His response, he didn't perform well.
Yeah.
He was bad.
There's no mention of injury. Yeah.
Respect to him. Respect to Sean McVay for making a change.
Yeah, and Sean McVay trusted C.J. Anderson enough to move on from that. And I think C.J. Anderson's going to be an interesting to look at. Okay, let's go with score. Real quick, what do you think final score is going to be?
45-42, Rams. Zuerlein kicks it at the end.
So almost a 100-point game combined.
Yep.
That's big scoring. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit less because I think the Rams are going to try to control the game with Gurley and C.J. Anderson.
Okay.
And so I'm going to say 24-23. Rams win on defense and make the defensive stop at the end of the game to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
So Brady has the ball last drive.
Brady has the ball.
Doesn't do it.
And doesn't get it.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Next up, we're going to talk basketball. Boogie's back. Harden's going off crazy. And is anyone actually going to beat the Warriors? Plus some All-Star game. Let's go.
We like sports and we don't care who knows.
We're back, you're back, and Boogie's back. The Warriors, can anybody beat them?
No. Nobody's going to beat them.
Best team in the history of basketball.
Yes.
Well, collectively.
It depends how Boogie's going to do.
That's true. He's already doing pretty well. He's making an impact.
Yeah, I mean...
10 straight wins for the Warriors.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you take Boogie out of the equation, you got 4 All-Stars.
Yeah.
If they're all going to make it this year, I doubt it.
It's the first team ever to have 5 All-Stars. And obviously they're all starting.
I mean, their lineup is an All-Pro lineup. It's first team All-NBA lineup. If Boogie can have half the impact he did last year when he was healthy, nobody will touch the Warriors.
Right. I mean, they could compete in an All-Star game with their team.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
That would be cool to see.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
With our predictions, but
because they already have 5 All-Stars.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but there's a bad man in the West that lives in Houston, James Harden. He's having a record January. Let's see. In January, he's averaging 44.5 points a game, 8.3 rebounds, and 7.8 assists. So basically 44, 8, and 8 in January.
Okay.
I mean, obviously Chris Paul's out. He's come back. I think I saw reports Sunday. Can they compete with the Warriors?
No, they can't. Sorry. Harden's not going to keep this up when Chris Paul comes back. He's just not. Okay?
It's hard, yeah.
Who knows? As much as I love my boy Chris Paul, who knows if he's going to... What's he gonna... He's been out a long time. I mean, I remember last year, I don't know the number, but when they had Capella, Harden, and Paul, they were unstoppable. And then we saw what happened when Paul was out in the Western Conference Finals. Yeah. And that's the other question. What's going on with Clint Capella? Like, is he going to come back fully healthy? Harden can't keep this up. He can't.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to get tired, right?
Yeah.
You would think he'd get tired. I mean, because last year, they had a chance to beat the Warriors in the playoffs.
If Chris...
I'm not going to say they would have, but they would have definitely put up a better fight.
If they can hit...
a three.
I could have hit a three.
They could have hit a three. They could have beat the Warriors, but they had Boogie.
Yeah, but now you put Boogie if he's healthy versus Capella.
Boogie can guard Capella.
He's gonna dominate Capella.
I don't see it. I think Warriors are gonna go win their next championship.
So is this good for basketball? What James Harden is doing right now?
See, I think it's good for basketball because I think that it finally poses at least a threat to the Warriors. Like maybe he's not getting his teammates involved as much, but I think as a viewer, we want to see the big games.
Yeah.
We love it when Kobe drops 80.
Yeah.
We loved it when Michael Jordan dropped 60 in the playoff game. We want to see James Harden take over. Now, his style of play, not everybody loves it. There's a lot of free throws.
I'm not sure this is going to be the game. When I'll say when, they play the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. You heard it here first.
Hot take.
This won't be James Harden's game because you're going to hopefully get Paul and Capella back, so it'll be a different team. And if you don't have them back, they can't win.
I think that he has to keep up his efficiency. So like his numbers will go down when they come back, but like can he stay efficient within the offense and produce a similar amount of good for that basketball team?
You know who else is going off right now is freaking Paul George.
Paul George.
Yeah. Is he
Thunder playing well?
Is he the best player on the Thunder? Is he the best player on the Oklahoma City Thunder?
They got Russ.
You know who doesn't have Russ? You in fantasy basketball.
I don't have. Yeah, I trade him. That was a terrible decision, by the way. But Russ is off and on, I think. Yeah. Like, he can go off and do a 20, 10, and 10 triple-double, take over a game. Or he can shoot 3 for 15 and be like, have 8 points, 10 rebounds. Overall, though, I think Paul George might be the best player if you include defense because he's a defensive. Yeah. He's a defensive first team.
You wanna hear my hot take on this one?
What do you think?
You take Paul George out of the Thunder, or you take Russell Westbrook out of the Thunder. Who has a better team? It's Paul George's team. If you take out Russell Westbrook, Paul George's team on the Thunder is so much better than if you take out Paul George and you leave Russell Westbrook. That's what I think.
Yeah. I have to agree. The numbers are flashy for Russell Westbrook, and he does a lot for his team. I'm not taking anything away from that. Numbers are flashy, but Paul George probably does more for his team overall because of his defense, because of his efficiency. He can guard people. He can guard anybody.
Happy that he's first. He gets the start this year for the West. So we flipped a coin during break, and we're gonna draft. I think this is the second year of the All-Star draft. You got Team LeBron,
of course,
and you got Team Giannis. We flipped a coin. Flem won, so we're gonna act like we're picking our team. So Flem, who are you taking?
First starter, I'm gonna take. If I'm LeBron, I'm taking Joel Embiid. I'm getting the big boy. There's one legit big man in the starters, and it's Joel Embiid. You gotta take him. How can you pass him up?
So Embiid's off the board.
Embiid's off.
Okay. With my first pick, I'm going KD.
KD and Giannis. Okay.
I'm going KD. You got height, even though you're not crazy big. Giannis scores so much down low. I think he could beat Joel Embiid.
I'm telling you right now, my team's gonna whip your team.
And then you got KD, who's so big he can come in or out. It's KD.
Okay. Well, if you're taking KD, then I'm gonna take Mr. Drip himself, Mr. Shimmy, Steph Curry. I'm taking Steph Curry with the second pick for my point guard because I need to have my point guard. Okay. So I'm taking Steph over Kyrie and Kemba. I might have to take Kemba though since Charlotte Hornets. I might have to do it, but I'm taking Steph.
Okay. That's a stupid move. I love Steph. Steph is a great guy. He's good for basketball. We just talked about him. How are you not taking James Harden? I'm taking James Harden.
James Harden.
Yeah. Let him go run your point.
Okay.
Go take the one. Why'd you pass on? Don't tell me.
Okay, then I'm gonna take Kawhi then.
You want Kawhi?
I'm taking Kawhi. So I got Steph, LeBron, Kawhi, and Joel Embiid. You think you can beat that?
You got Steph, Kawhi, LeBron, and Joel Embiid, and I've got Giannis, KD, James Harden.
Giannis is overrated. We get in that later, but he's overrated.
He's gonna win the MVP this year.
He's gonna win MVP of the
He's
game?
gonna win the MVP. No, of the year. He's gonna win MVP.
You're out of your mind.
No.
Dad, I just told you. Harden's stats.
No, Harden is not gonna keep this up.
If he doesn't keep it up, he averaged 45 points.
You mark this down. If the Milwaukee Bucks get the 1 seed in the East, Giannis is winning MVP. Back to my draft.
Okay.
Paul George. I'm taking Paul George.
Did you know Harden's averaging 36 a game?
Okay, cool.
Points.
Cool.
And you're gonna take Giannis.
The Bucks would be a lottery team without Giannis.
Okay. So who we have left? We have Paul George and Kemba.
No, I just took Paul George. You got Kemba and Kyrie.
Kemba. Okay, I'll just go Kemba.
I want Kemba. All right, I got
Hornets.
I got Kyrie.
Okay, it's Kemba. I'm also gonna predict this. It's Kemba in Charlotte. He'll be MVP of the All-Star game.
That's fair.
I hope.
I'm glad Kemba's getting love. He's an incredibly talented player.
He's had to go through a lot.
Okay, recap your team right now.
So I got Steph at point. Well, I mean, what's my lineup? Maybe I gotta have Steph at point, Kemba at 2, Kawhi at 3, LeBron at 4, Joel at 5.
Okay.
And you got?
I've got Kyrie at the 1. I've got James Harden at the 2, Paul George at the 3, KD at the 4, and Giannis at the 5.
Giannis playing 5 against Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
He's gonna get bullied.
Giannis
can't wait for the matchup.
Giannis, right next to the rim of the hoop, averages more points a game than anyone in the league.
Okay.
Over 30.
Real quick, snub or someone you want to see to make the All-Star, or either a starter snub or someone you want to see make the All-Star game. Go.
Mine says Luka, Hart says D Rose, but D Wade. You gotta have D Wade. You gotta send him off.
Last dance.
Yep.
It's gotta be D Wade.
What you got?
I agree with D Wade. It would also be cool to see D Rose get it. It's his comeback season. He's playing really well, helping Timberwolves. So yeah, that's what I got.
Cool. Well, we're coming back. Baseball Hall of Fame, unanimous or no? See you in a minute.
We like sports and we don't care who knows.
Let's talk some baseball. Flem Lem, we are huge baseball fans. I know it's kind of an older people's sport, but we want to start off. We want to give a huge shout out, congratulations to Mariano Rivera, Edgar Martinez, Roy Halladay, Mike Mussina, Hall of Famers announced last week. Obviously, Hall of Fame is the biggest individual award, achievement, whatever you want to call it, a sports athlete can
They
get.
all deserve it now.
And huge shout out to these guys.
Yeah. Let's talk. The big news though is Mariano Rivera first unanimous decision to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
What are your thoughts? There's been a lot of worthy people. He's the first one.
I agree and I disagree. I agree because you vote for Mariano Rivera. You just check that's the first name you check off on that ballot. You vote for him. But to say guys like Ken Griffey Jr., guys like Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Jackie Robinson, guys who changed Cy Young. You talk about Nolan Ryan. You guys, the best baseball players of all time. Nobody has ever been a unanimous Hall of Famer. So I disagree for that reason because I think someone else should have been the first.
Yeah.
But how do you not vote for Mariano Rivera?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Does he deserve to be unanimous? Yes. But did the other people deserve to be unanimous? Yes. So the fact that he's the first one ever is kind of well, other people deserved it as well. But I mean, he deserves it. Congratulations. He's one of the best closers.
Yeah. Interesting point for me. I thought someone would have not voted for him because a closer is a made-up position.
Yeah.
But I think that might go in his favor because you can't say he is the GOAT. He's the best all-time at his position. So I think maybe that's where people got it.
And I mean, I think there's players, let's take Ken Griffey Jr. for example, who played during the steroid era, who was clean and dominated. Yeah. 10 gold gloves, dominated. It was one of the smoothest swings ever. Yeah. How does that fit in to the Hall of Fame? Yeah. In my opinion, would have been top 5 baseball players all time if he had not got hurt. I still think he's top 10. He's amazing. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to my boy
Kurt Schilling should have got in this year. Hopefully you get in next year.
We hope so. He's one of the best ever.
Yep.
And I just think, as far as steroids, look, I don't know. I think, yes, it boosts your stats. What would they have been without him? I don't know. But Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, they were good without it. But are they Hall of Fame good without it? That's the decision. And I don't know. I think that the voters have made it clear they're not going to vote for steroid users, at least now.
Yeah.
They're not. Maybe it'll change, but I think it's going to see an interesting change, and maybe Mo set a new standard.
Yeah.
We had the first unanimous, so who's going to be after that?
Maybe times are changing. Yeah.
And so next ballot, we got Derek Jeter on the ballot. Could he be the second?
No.
Derek Jeter's not second.
I don't think he's the second.
The captain.
I mean, he's in first ballot Hall of Fame. He will get 75% of the vote. Is he unanimous? No, because he's not the best shortstop defensively to ever play. He's not the best shortstop offensively to ever play. Yes, he's the captain of maybe one of the greatest dynasties, definitely of our generation, but of all time. Yeah. But the question is, who doesn't vote for Derek Jeter?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you don't vote for him, who's that vote going to?
Yeah, because you can only vote for 10.
So, like, if you don't vote for Jeter, you're saying that someone else is better than the person who got your last vote.
Yeah.
Is better than Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
Which it's going to be hard to say, but there's only been one unanimous, so that's going to remain to be seen.
If you look at his stats, Derek Jeter has only had one top 3 MVP finish. I know he has 3,000 hits, but that didn't get Craig Biggio in first ballot. He hit 310. That'll help quite a bit. Captain of the Yankees. Wasn't injured too much. You know, he had that 2013 year.
He's the face of the Yankees.
Of our generation.
Our generation.
Yes.
Yeah. And, I mean, they're the dynasty.
Yep.
He's the face of that dynasty of our generation. How's that going to play in? You don't think he will. I personally think that he has a good chance to be. I think that he probably will. I
mean, the stats are there. 14-time All-Star, 5-time World Series champion, 5-time Gold Glove. It's there. I'm not going to be upset if he is. I just don't think he will be. Looking ahead to next year's ballot, though, because I think your point was interesting about the last guy you checked was better than Derek Jeter. I don't see anyone else getting in on next year's ballot for a first-timer.
Yeah.
You got Paul Konerko is going to get some votes. Had almost 2,400 hits. I think Cliff Lee could get some votes because he was part of that Phillies dominant rotation. But I see a lot.
Cliff Lee's kind of the same way. Like, he was behind. He was never. My personal belief, he was not as good as Roy Halladay.
Oh yeah.
So like, I mean, you got all these players that who's going to take it away from Derek Jeter, and that's what we're going to have to see.
Just looking at the ballot, I see a lot of guys falling off first ballot. I don't see maybe Jason Giambi gets a few votes, but he's connected to steroids. I hope my boy Todd Helton gets in eventually. I know this next year will just be his second year on the ballot, but so. That's
it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah. If I had to vote, I'd vote Jeter. Would you vote Jeter? Gotta vote Jeter.
I'm not stupid.
So we'll see about that. So that's all we got for MLB. But coming up, we got our last words. Got that coming for you right up.
Okay.
We like sports and we don't care who knows.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We're going to end with Flem and Lem's last words. Flem, let's hear it.
Okay, so first, we have reports coming out of New Orleans that they're not going to be showing the Super Bowl, and instead they're going to be showing the Saints Super Bowl victory from the 2009 season.
Don't talk about that Super Bowl.
Let's see against Colts. Let's see how it affects ratings. Probably won't affect them that much, but it's just kind of interesting that they're a little bit salty about it. I would be too. Second, just want to shout out to Naomi Osaka, the new #1 women's tennis player in the world after her victory at the Australian Open. Lem?
I'm going to give a shout out to my boy, Victor Oladipo.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best players in the East. Pacers are surging. They're red hot. You just hate to see a guy who clearly loves the game as much as he does hurt his knee. If you don't know, he's season-ending knee injury. Yeah. He's done for the year, and I think he could have started in the East. Mm-hmm. He was finally getting some real respect, and now he's out, and it hurts me when you see a guy love a sport so much and he can't play it. So shout out to him. Those are my last words.
Okay, well, thank you for watching Episode 1. We'll be back with Episode 2 shortly. Watch out this week. Let's see if James Harden can keep up his unassisted scoring streak. Let's see if Boogie can keep up his production. And, of course, we got the Super Bowl. So we'll see you then.
Let's go.